What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to kdjTV. Today, we've got a little bit of a banger here for you, talking about Thursday night's feature premiere from San Diego Studios, talking all about storylines. If you guys are new to the channel, hello, my name's Kenny. You could expect up-to-date, up-to-the-minute, I can't promise you up to the second, but up-to-the-minute MLB The Show 23 news on this channel. If you want news, opinions, player rankings, a couple tips interspersed here and there, make sure you're subscribing. We're on the road to 500 subscribers. That's the goal for the first month of MLB The Show's launch, so help me get there. Also, incredibly important, make sure you like the video and let me know in the comments section down below which of the new Negro Leagues legends you are most excited to learn about. Not use, learn about in MLB The Show 23 storylines. Without any more wasting time, let's get right into the content, right into the episode, talk a little bit about what we learned, what we still don't know, and what we're excited for. All right, everybody, so first off here, this is Schiff. This was the person on the feature premiere who a lot of people had no idea who he was. He is the senior narrative designer for storylines for SDS. He has won 5 Emmys. Listen, the people who actually write the stories for a lot of these games or a lot of these game modes, people tend not to care too much about. But when we're talking about a brand new mode that really seems for the first of its kind across many types of sports video games, really narratively driven, when you have an Emmy winner working on that project, oh boy, that's exciting. Like, honestly, that's really exciting. Don't underestimate how important that is. With Schiff doing a lot of the narrative work, and Bob Kendrick, the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum president, in the fold, I mean, this is going to be incredible. So go ahead, make sure you drop Schiff a follow on Twitter, at SchiffHappens. It's a fantastic handle. And he doesn't tweet a lot, but he will tweet some information this season, I'm sure, that we'll find interesting. So make sure you're following him. Next, while we're throwing follows around, follow Bob Kendrick. This man, I want him to narrate my life. He is an orator, not even a storyteller. He's an orator. Listening to him speak during that feature premiere was like captivating. It kept me hooked the entire time. And he is narrating the storylines in MLB The Show 23. So we're going to hear his voice a lot. I hope we learn more about Bob Kendrick himself. Yes, of course, the Negro Leagues players, the historical figures are so important, and I want to learn a ton about them. But I want to know more about Bob. Bob Kendrick is the man. Hit him with a follow on Twitter immediately, at NLBM. Prez with a Z. Make sure you're doing it. Super cool fact about this entire partnership. It's going to last 5 years. There's a 5-year deal that SDS signed with the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum. So we're going to be hearing a lot more about Bob in the next 5 years. All right, so a little bit of information here that we've learned about storylines and this project before we dive into some screenshots, a little bit of video, things like that. First of all, Ramon, this is a passion play for him. He literally shed tears at the end of this feature premiere because of how proud he is of all the work that's been done. And he knows the importance and the gravitas, nice word, that this type of mode, this type of information, this type of education will have. So, first of all, shout out to Ramon. Right out in front, shout out to Ramon. A lot of people like to poke fun or use Ramon as a meme. Listen, I'm guilty of it too. As long as it's all in good fun, it's okay. But there were people in the feature premiere chat, just horrible people, like making fun of Ramon for crying about this project. Ramon cares. A lot of people, when they work on things, they punch in, they punch out, they go home. This man cares. So shout out, legitimately shout out to Ramon. Thank you, Ramon, for all the hard work you've put in for this. Ramon said it needs to feel different. It's a different era of baseball. It is a different not style, but, you know, it was just different. So they put 70 new presentations in this game, 70 new presentations in this game to make it feel different, to make it sound different, to make it seem different. Storylines has its own soundtrack, which I think is super cool. Hopefully it is time era music, which I'm assuming it will be. And they paid attention to the details, man, the nitty gritty. They told one anecdote about how they tried to figure out how to recreate John Donaldson's pitching windup. Unfortunately, John Donaldson played in the early 1900s, and there was one video of him they could find, 37 seconds long or something like that, where he threw 2 pitches, and it was incredibly grainy. So they had to stop it frame by frame and draw him out and map it and piece it all together. Listen, I'm sure it's going to be great. I can't wait to see it. But to know that they put that much detail or attention to detail into storylines, is just amazing. It shows how much they care. All right, so we are going to start hot here with 6 new stadiums. 6 new Negro League stadiums in MLB The Show 23. Before we look through each one of them, a quick important note about them. Obviously, SDS is, their stadium creator is pretty powerful. We know this. It's got a lot of options, a lot of features. So they were able to come incredibly close to actually duplicating these stadiums. There were some hiccups that Ramon explained, so I will explain them here. Some of these stadiums did not have foul or fair poles. Whatever you decide to call them is fine. So what they had to do was add foul or fair poles just for the game, so the game would function. But they put time era appropriate ones, wooden ones, or just older looking ones. So they paid attention to detail there. Secondly, some of these stadiums didn't have dugouts. Dugouts just weren't a thing. SDS, the way their game is programmed, they have to have dugouts because otherwise the players they don't know where to go. So they added some dugouts, and of course they will be time appropriate as well. Again, just attention to detail. They really did their best here. So we have Busch Stadium. This is not Busch, St. Louis Cardinals Busch. This is Busch Stadium. I believe it was in Indianapolis. That's what I remember reading. Then we have Forbes Field. Super cool. Already in the game, if I'm not mistaken. Comiskey Park. Incredible. Center field is big. Big. Southside Park. This stadium actually kind of looks fun. I'm curious to see how deep the fences actually are because the walls are really tiny. But Southside Park looks fun. And then we have 2 more here. We have Mulebach Field. This is where the Kansas City Monarchs played. Talk about a big center field. Oh boy. Wow. This is a deep center field. And then we have Hilldale Park, which to right field looks about, 4 football fields deep. So I love that with this project they integrated these stadiums. I think it's super important. I think it helps make it relevant. I'm a little worried about playing with them online, but we'll get there. We don't even know how interconnected Diamond Dynasty and storylines are yet. I'm assuming it'll all be together, but I don't know. I'm not sure. We got some updated player screenshots of every new legend coming into the game. Satchel Paige, just look at the detail here on the animated player face and then Satchel Paige's face. I mean, they look pretty much to a T. Notice that the uniforms have the longer sleeves because they were made of wool. So those are in the game. And they even look like a different fabric. They don't look exactly like the ones we're used to. Also, the gloves being old is just a nice touch as well. Satchel Paige, Hilton Smith, Rube Foster, and Hank Thompson. I'm kind of excited to use Hank Thompson. He's a player I don't know a ton about, which is another fantastic point about storylines, is that we're actually going to learn something. I am excited to learn something. But Hank Thompson's swing, just the way he's standing there, kind of looks nice. Kind of looks nice, like a nice, short, fluid swing. So Hank Thompson, super excited about him. We got 4 more here. Of course, Buck O'Neil. God, look at the facial features in his real life photo. God, they look so good in game. They look so good. We have Jackie Robinson, of course, who we know a lot of his story, but as Bob Kendrick said in the feature premiere, not all of it. So excited to learn more about him as well. And then we have John Donaldson. I mistakenly called him Josh in a video a couple weeks ago. Big time apologize. I meant to say John the entire time. But John Donaldson threw like 97 no-hitters or some crazy shit like that. So that'll be cool to see. And then Martin Dihigo. I believe that's how we say it. I'm going to learn how to say his name by the time this game drops. He played all 9 positions and played them all well. So he's going to be a demon if we can use him in Diamond Dynasty. And then lastly, we do have a little bit of gameplay. Now, I am not going to play it with volume. I'm just going to show little bits and pieces here. This was captured on Next Gen. It's not final, but it was captured on Next Gen. Let's make this bigger, maybe. Can I do that? No, it's as big as it goes. But look how good this looks. It honestly looks good. The presentation's nice. It's crystal clear. It just looks really, really, really nice and fancy. And this is what storylines will look like as you are participating in the mode. I love how this is going to work. There's going to be pictures, video, interviews, animations, graphics, and then at a pivotal point, it's going to stop. You're going to play a moment, and then it's going to jump right back into the storytelling. That is incredible. That is immersive. That is how, it's at least how I learn. I always learned by doing or like writing. I did not learn by just seeing. So by putting the moments in there, I think that's a super, super smart strategy by SDS. I honestly cannot wait to dive into this head first. So everybody, that is it for this first feature premiere wrap-up. Short, sweet, to the point. We're still waiting for a lot. We're still waiting for hitting, pitching, legit gameplay features and updates, maybe other new modes. Because they spent so much time on storylines, I do want to preface it by saying I don't think we're going to have another new mode. They rightfully went 100% into storylines. Maybe they'll tweak some existing modes. That's what I'm hoping for. But we don't have information on that yet. This was only the first feature premiere. My guess is that it'll be on a Thursday cadence from here on out. That's not confirmed. It's just a guess. So stay tuned to the show's Twitter account and scouting report emails and things like that for more information. But otherwise, make sure you've liked and subscribed to this channel because news will be coming here whenever it is out in the internet. And I appreciate you guys for making it to the end. See you next time.